what you want. If you turn a blind eye, turn a blind
First of all, I have to share an apology. If some of you come here hoping to see Neil, Neil's not been very well, so he's feeling better. I saw him yesterday, but he was unable to attend today, so I've been asked to step in at the last moment. Neil had prepared about half an hour, and I know we've got a break after this, so I just want to see with a show of hands. I've come up with a 15-minute presentation. Would you prefer to hear that, just with a show of hands? Is that a yes? A shorter presentation so we can go to break? I think that's indication there that you want that. Evening Gateshead, by the way. Sorry. So that's direct democracy, basically. We asked you a question, and with a show of hands, you showed what you wanted. Unfortunately, we live in the UK province of the EU at the moment, because Boris lied about that as well. So I'm going to go for my half hour, I'm afraid. Now, I'll get through it as quick as I can. So, are we ready? Can you do that as a projection, the whole thing? Slideshow. We'll let her off. At the top, slideshow. Okay. So, there's another one before that, the definition, isn't there? Yeah, slide up. Can you see that? Can you hear me at the back, yeah? Okay, so I thought I'd start with a definition. Direct democracy is a political philosophy. And I know some of you are new, have seen this for the first time. Some of you might have heard of it before. So I thought I'd just go back to basics. So it's also known as pure democracy, and it forms a direct participation of the citizens in the democratic decision making. All right, so this is basically giving the people the chance to make decisions about things. So we think that we have that already, but we don't. Direct democracies operate through an assembly of citizens that meet the referenda and initiatives in which the citizens vote on issues instead of candidates or parties. All right, this is an official definition from Britannica. There's others out there if you have a look at it all. I would say research. What I'm going to tell you today, don't take my word for it, go away and research. We think this is a better plan. I think we're hearing a lot of awful things today from the other speakers, and this is really a message of hope. This is a way that we can go forward, because, you know, worst case scenario, we're heading for some kind of revolution, and the wrong people get injured in that. So what we need to do is actually, you know, try and do something instead of that so we don't get there. But if it does come to a revolution, this will be really useful afterwards. Moving on. So history is known to be used in ancient Greece. An assembly gathers around a common space, usually like the town square, to discuss issues and take a binding vote on the issue. Now, not everyone's going to like that, but it seems the best way to deal with things in the community. It's been incorporated into peace negotiations as political solution following conflicts and resolutions, like throughout history. So places like Switzerland had a bit of a civil war, and out of that came the 1848 settlement that they had, which included using direct democracy. So they've been doing this for 176 years now. And that's something to think about, because other countries around the world have looked at it and thought, we like that, we're going to do it. So places like Liechtenstein, Taiwan, Uruguay, 26 states of the USA, they use it for like more local elections, not the presidential ones. Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, and recently Germany are all experimenting with this and including it as part of their electoral processes. Following the collapse of monarchy rule in the UK, we developed and we exported it around the world, representative democracy, in which it actually resembles what's called a plutocracy. So a small group of rich people have the control of who we vote for. Now, I know we can stand in an election as an independent, but you've got things like the party machine that helps you to select candidates and print leaflets and that kind of thing, collects donations, all that kind of work that goes behind the scene. And if you've ever stood an election as an independent yourself, you know how much extra work that you have to do on your own. Next slide. So, direct democracy, what is it in the UK? We're members of a movement, so it's not a specific political party, but we welcome anyone from any group or political party, and you can stay in touch with us as a signing on sheet at the back there. If you put your name on there and your email and your phone number, if there's anything going on in your area, we'll let you know, and we send the occasional update on what we've been doing. We had a lot of requests to have a political party because there's still a lot of people in this country, when it comes to an election, they pick red or blue. And in the past, I'm guilty of it myself. I've voted for different political parties, not because I believed in what they were standing for, but because I wanted to get rid of the last lot, and I see some nodding heads around the room, so I know I'm not alone. And that's the thing that we need to change. We need to break that shell, and we need people to go into that voting station and say, I'm going to vote for this person because I believe in this, yeah? So, there was a political party, which was called the Five Star Movement in the UK, and it's based on the Italian version, and had come from something else before. But they've managed to change the name now to Independence for Direct Democracy. So we actually have a party, if you want to join the party and stand as a candidate in upcoming elections for them. They've got a brilliant website, which is a really good resource centre. If you look at the links, come over and ask us afterwards if it's really small writing where you're sitting. Then you can have independent candidates, and I was one of those, an advocate. I believe in direct democracy, I believe in this process, but I'm not quite sure I want to nail my flag to any particular political party. That might change in the future, but there's plenty of people who were Conservative or Labour who are now independents, and they've burnt their fingers with these political parties, and they're happy just to stand as an independent for now. So we have those. We use a website or app called BlockVote, and this is a free independent blockchain technology protected voting platform for any direct democracy advocates that are out there. So you can have parties, political parties, communities, companies, anyone that wants to find out what people genuinely think about something can sign up for this and use it in their organisation. There's a website there as well. So this is the login page, and I just thought I'd just go through a couple of slides on this. So it's basically just an app voting web page. You log in, you register with them, which will mean sending your name and address so they know who you are and where you live, because obviously you're going to be voting on things that affect your local community. So, we give our details out to gas and electric and phones and people like that. It's no different than that. It is safe. As I said, this is blockchain protected. That's the blockchain technology that they use with cryptocurrency. We're not using it for gambling. What they're using it for is to make sure when you cast your vote, it can't be tampered with. And we've got an accurate record of who voted for what. When you go on there, there's voting partners. You can't see it very well from that slide, but you can actually register your organisation, and we've got Independence for Direct Democracy up there. BlockVote himself sometimes post votes. Save Our Rights have already signed up for it. The Love Movement, you might have heard of them. And I'm actually up there as well as a partner. So if you live in Wellingborough, where I live in the Midlands, Northamptonshire, you can actually sign up and connect with me. And then any time I put votes up, it will come up in your area. So you can then take part in votes. Next slide. On the app, you've then got options of seeing the votes that are up there. So it can be something which you set up over a period of time. So one of those is, are you happy living in Wellingborough? Just like a happiness index thing, so we can see, who voted, if they were happy at a certain time, if anything changed, say, after there was a general election. You can vote on anything. So if you've got a particular burning issue, be it smoking or abortion or rejoining the EU, whatever it is, we can post things up there. And you can do it for your local council area, for your town, for your village, for your parliamentary constituency, or even the country. You can actually do it for planets as well. We thought that would be a nice little humour thrown in there. After a period of time, you'll get a result, all the people that have voted, and then it will give you a percentage, how many people in your area are particularly for or against something. And that's really useful to use if you contacting your MP and saying, we've got a particular problem in this area, maybe a broadcasting tower or something like that. We're not happy about it. We've tested the people in this area and we've got a result. 80% of the people aren't interested in this and don't want it. Yeah. So then when your MP goes into Parliament to vote on this, then if they vote against the people in your community, you've already got 80% of the people who took part in the vote on your side. So we can get a petition to get rid of them. Yeah. You don't have to have people elected to use this. We can use it now. Think about that. Direct democracy update for this month. For those that have been coming to these events before and have spoken to us, we've had several developments. So I myself stood as a local candidate in a local election in Wellingborough, and that was in June. And the result was I came fourth with 28 votes. Interestingly, there was only 10% of the people in that area that voted in that election. Then in July, Monty, who's sitting at the table with me at the back there, he stood as a independent for direct democracy candidate in the general election, and the result was he came in ninth with 45 votes. Now it may seem like disappointing numbers there, but we're trailblazers. We're the first people that have stood in elections under this umbrella. So, we've set the bar now. So it's for people like you to go back to your communities and say, there's an election coming up. I wonder if I can stand for them. And we'll help you with resources and things. And maybe you can get a better result than we did. And at some point, somebody's actually going to get elected, which would be brilliant. We have got members of the movement who've been going out and doing talks to groups. Neil and John Lookwood and Neil Petrie. They continue to engage with public meetings. Marcus and I discuss direct democracy on podcasts. It's up there, but it's very hard to read. If you're on YouTube, it's at It's Common Sense 89. You can come and ask me later. And that's on YouTube. And most of us, the rest of us, are scattered around the country, have been engaging with groups like Stand in the Park, the Together Movement, independent political groups, national residents associations. You might have heard of some of these before. There's a new one coming up. Look out for this one. It's called the Albion Cooperative. Very, very interesting what they're doing. And the thing is, we can all work together with this. They can all use direct democracy in their communities to achieve what they're trying to get. Next slide. That's not the one I've got. The one back.
Oh, sorry, that's it.
That's all right. So moving forward. Moving forward, we're spreading the word, basically. We're at the stage, it's a brand new thing which is happening. People are saying to us they want something different, but in that last election, they went in and they voted like red because they wanted to get rid of blue. And that was the biggest disappointment, I think, for all of us, because there's loads of independents, and there's people like Andrew Bridgen, and we've got anecdotal evidence. He's an advocate for direct democracy. People who were knocking on doors they were being told they were going to vote for Andrew, and he went from 33,500 down to 1,500, approximately. There's something wrong with that number. So, people are looking at this now, and hopefully we'll have some kind of interesting developments later on. We're approaching celebrities, existing politicians to promote direct democracy. You'll have heard radio DJs talking about it. And every opportunity we're trying to get people to get involved and in their own way. We're going to field local candidates in local elections. So next April in Wellingborough, May, we're going to have in Northamptonshire. We're going to have local elections. So we're trying to fill vacancies at the moment, so people can start working in their areas, and we're hoping. People will pick this up and join in themselves. We're getting people elected to parish councils and town councils where there's by-elections. So please look out for it. If you see a direct democracy candidate, please vote for them because they're on your side. Yeah, we're going to field candidates in general elections and mayoral elections and things like that because the more people that hear about us, the more chance we're getting to get people elected. We can then develop this process that we're doing and get more people to sign up for it. And it's you, the people, getting control of that. We've got publications out there. This is Neil, who couldn't be here today. This is his book. I've got 3 copies left. So if anyone would like a copy and has no chat with us already, that's £10. We've got articles talking about direct democracy in the Light newspaper, and I always promote this at every opportunity. I've got loads of back copies there if anyone wants to take them, because I don't want to take them home. They've brought me here to share around, so please take them home and give them to people if you know someone that hasn't heard of it yet. That's what we're doing. So we came up with today's democracy vote. So, of the people that are here today, we just thought it would be useful to take something away, like what did you all think about something? So, Monty's got a voting box there. If you could hold it up, Monty. It's nice and white, and I've written on the front there. So, the policy proposal is all illegal immigrants coming from a safe nation are, upon discovery, to be returned to that country immediately. If you agree with that, please vote yes, and if you disagree, tick no. And then during the break, we'll add it up. We'll come back to you later with the result. Next one. So, at one of the events I was speaking at recently, somebody put this question up, and it's quite a good question to think about, so we can prepare ourselves. I've toned down the language, I have to say. So what if a minority group of any description used direct democracy where they live to create something that was unpopular with the majority of residents in that area or the wider UK population? So that's quite an interesting thing to think about. If we could promote this and get people elected on it, there might be a minority group of people who think, yeah, everybody's thinking my way, we can do this vote and we can get something changed which affects everybody in that area. It might seem a little bit of an odd thing to say, but we think we should encourage this, because if somebody's putting up an unpopular proposal, they really do believe that this is a good thing that's going to happen. And they will, promote it, go out there knocking on doors, get people to vote for it, and they will find out that people really aren't interested. Yeah, so they will get they won't get the answer that they wanted, right? But if by some poor choice they actually did get what they wanted in their local community, and I'm talking about a local issue, not something that's national. So we're not going to change, for example, our national laws on something. Then, and we'd have to ask the whole people of the country if we were going to do something like that. We couldn't change a specific town or village to operate under certain laws where the rest of the country doesn't. If that place did win that referendum, right, and they thought that they could get changes in that area, that place is going to deteriorate, yeah, because people won't want to live there. They'll move away, and they'll move to other places where that isn't popular. And if you look at places like Switzerland where they use direct democracy, each canton, each county, if you like, has actually got a different rules about education in schools, what we've just been learning about. Yeah, and what they can do is then look across the border and say, oh, I like what they're doing over there, we should do more of that. Or they could say, I don't like what's going on over there, we will steer away from that. Yeah, and as I said, anything that affects all of us in the country, that should really go to a national referendum. And I go back to where I started. You know, we've already done that. We voted to leave the EU in 2016. It's nearly 10 years later, and it hasn't happened yet. So we trusted the wrong people to deliver. What we've got to do is held their feet to the fire, like Nigel Farage says, and we need to make sure things that do get voted for by the people. No government can bind the next government to something, but the people can. Remember that. So I think that's where I'll wind up. Thank you all for listening to me. I think there's a question and answer at the end. Thank you. There's a question at the back. Should we take it now or do it later? A question at the back. Shall I take it now or do it later? A question at the back. Sorry. By a living man, you mean, yeah, in voting and signing up for everything. I get you with that. In my mind, you don't need to be on the electoral register to vote in something that's important, yeah? But right. Block Vote is a private company. It's not run by any government or anything like that. I'll have to come back to you on that one. So take my card and then get in touch with me, and I will get you an answer on that and come back to you. It's the great thing about this, and I'll just finish on that, is this is all new. It's new to us, yeah? So we can write our own rules on it. I mentioned Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein's got a monarchy, right? So the king has the last word on everything. But obviously Switzerland, they don't, he's never used the veto. But Switzerland has a different model. The people make the final decision. It's still got political parties, and they've still got like a committee, if you like, that runs the country. But we can make it up ourselves, yeah? Thank you very much.